firmware 01020330, grayware, DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro. I'm shooting some super night shots, which I'm on 4K 30 frames per second, standard DWARP, and Rocksteady Plus. This is in Pro mode, and here we go. Rocksteady only, super night, and in standard DWARP. And on the bicycle, yes, it's going to be smooth. It's going to be brighter. And I'm holding my camera just on a little angle, not much on the pitch. I switched over to video mode on my Pro mode. That is the Pro settings. And I'm on 4K 30 frames per second. Now I found out if you set your camera up and you set your brightness to a certain level and you go to a different mode with the customs, you're going to have the camera a lot brighter indeed. And that may be something that was existing or new in grayware. We have something new called lens boost. No information at all about it in the grayware, in the bullets. Do you have to purchase an accessory? Or is it just enabling it to increase and improve in wide? Now, lens boost to me sounds like a GoPro thing, or it sounds like an adjustment. I'm not sure. You're not sure. We're not sure. But in time, we'll all figure it out. Now, when I did some editing and I used certain settings, man, it destroyed my machine. Now, every shot from here on, bit rate high. Every shot I shot prior, bit rate standard. I'm not sure how my bit rate got changed. Probably a user error that I've been fooling around with the camera. I had to use it for a while. I forgot the settings I was on. So I'm gonna switch back on over to Super Night and change it to 4K 60 frames per second, because that's what everybody wants to do. They want to use faster frame rate shutter and get that buttery smooth video in a low light situation. Super night 4K 60 in a low light situation. And when I use lens boost, let me tell you, I put everything on wide. So now I went to super night and I had to make sure I put my wide back to standard DWARP, which I want on. I like using standard DWARP, and now I like using wide. So it doesn't make a big difference to me what I use. Well, I'm heading through the tunnel of Yellen, and it's super night. I don't know, in super night, you're going to see this shot. If it's going to be that good. That's a nice, beautiful sky in a peachy color. See the boat lights all lit up? I'm riding along in regular video mode. Yeah, I like switching back and forth in different settings and all. It gets to show you everything about the camera. And I am going to pull on to the pier and do a little talk. Nicely lit, beautiful sunrise. So here I am, gonna get you some shots. Oh yeah, man, really like this shot here. So I'm gonna sit on up. You got it. Grayware has greatly improved the camera. Did a nice job, let me tell you. And they really improved Super Night. People are impressed. Is the color, my face, can you see it? I'm in Super Night. Do I have to really get up close to the camera and do one of these? How do I look to you? I'm like 4 inches from the camera. I'm a foot. I'm 18 inches, 2 feet, 30 centimeters. I'm about a meter from the camera. And this is where my tone, my skin tone, which we don't have a button to press. Hlog, DM, whatever it's called. Watch the geese come in. I get out of the shot for you. Makes the darkest darker, makes it brighter, brighter. Lovely shot, man. They're coming in for a landing. Beautiful. Really impressive. Something I didn't try in grayware. V01020330. I wish they would just said firmware 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. I wish they just went like that, or firmware 1, firmware 2, firmware 3. Too many numbers. I guess that's life. You have to have all these crazy numbers. It means something to DJI, not to us. Well, DJI, here's us saying we're on this particular firmware, and all they care about is you need to be updated to the latest to get the bestest. It is what it is, man. It is what it is, man. Man, I just totally had that train of thought and I lost it. The camera does a nice job. Does everything nicely. And I use Wondershare Filmora 13. You gotta use the latest and the greatest to get the bestest out of it. And that would be Filmora 14. And I don't think I'm going to purchase for Windows Filmora 14. Maybe for Mac I will. I don't love the software. I like using it. It does a lot of things I want to do. It allows me to throw a mosaic in there, put it anywhere I want, and I could start to change things and put clips, whatnot. It allows me to do motion tracking and put a mosaic on. Do that subject a lot better than Cyberlink Powerdirector 2024 that I had. It allows me to simply make an arrow, put it anywhere I want, or designs, squares, this and that. Also put it with motion tracking. It allows me to do it right then and there, but it does not allow me to do in the track, take one video, the next video, drag it in to make a crossfade. Just drag it. It'll cut it, put it to the end, that little part, and you have to delete it off. I don't want snips. I want crossfades. Won't happen. And that's where magix are used. You just bring it in, crossfades. Because crossfades tells a story that later, right, not 2 seconds, a little later, that's what a crossfade tells you. It brings you into the next scene, slowly. I'm on 10-bit normal now. High rate, high bit rate. And I'm on normal video mode. I am happy with the camera, but when I edit it, man, I was struggling. And this was all new firmware, all grayware. It made me struggle with Filmora. But when I put it in magix, it was smooth. So I'm not sure if I had a hiccup. And no matter what I did, I had to let the video create a proxy. And man, let me tell you, a 1-minute video took 10 minutes to proxy. A 2-minute video could have took 15 minutes to proxy. It took me 8 hours. It's what it felt like. 5 hours exactly to do my whole video, and I gave up. I gave up there in midway. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. I want you to see the Canadian geese. Many years ago, about 30 years ago, they came over. And yeah, they just kept on coming over and over and over. There are tons of them, way more than you could imagine. Nothing was done about it. Then they basically tried to get rid of them, they couldn't. And here we are today. They're like seagulls. If you're going to use lens boost, which I'm not on right now, and if I come right over here in front of the camera, this is my leading edge. I'm probably in the whole picture, and it's a lot more. And this is standard D-warp. When you switch over to lens boost, which I'm going to do right now, I'm going to pick a spot on the floor right here. And let's see if it changes anything. It's going to change the standard D-warp to wide. I also changed it to super night. So we're on wide. Lens boost. Test 1, 2, 3. I want to change my wide to ultra wide. Now, when you do lens boost, and I'll explain it when I switch to ultra wide so you can see if there's a difference. Test 1, 2, 3. Super night doesn't have ultra wide. So I went back to video mode, which has ultra wide in lens boost. And this is a test. Test 1, 2, 3. Now, when I turn off lens boost, it will not go back to your previous setting of standard D-warp. It changes your field of view. So please remember that. DJI doesn't know how to allow the camera to switch back if it's choosing something. And that may be an issue for some and not others. And maybe one wants to change it for both. Yes, I stepped back. I was over here in this spot. I stepped over to this spot because I changed the scenery. So I changed back to wide. I don't want to be on ultra wide. And I like being in wide today. Gives me just a little bit more look. It's later and the sun and everything brighten up. I basically did my vlog, did my talk, did my share. I did my ride. I had my fun. I'm gonna hop on the bike and continue on. I'm on my customs bike mode. Bicycle. Yeah, I like it. Gives me everything I want. Still a low light shot. Doing a good job. Yes, indeed. The pigeons are flying. Yeah, man, check that out. So we're riding along. Yeah, lights are on. Give a pan to the sunrise. And ride on down. I think I'm gonna polish my review up, my vlog that is, pan around for you nice and slow in the hand, and make a turn. If you look at the sky, look at the colors it's giving you of a sunrise and the clouds, and how it's moving with you while you're riding. I want to offer you some information Doesn't do with grayware, but does with the interface of the camera and the HLG log that you're in. When you set up your camera and you're in video mode or do a custom for like bike or super night, your brightness can be adjusted. Mine is about 68%, 60% in that area to tone it down. I'm in Hlog. I know I'm in Hlog, and it looks real bright through the cameras back and front. And the reason for that is they locked your brightness level to 100%. This is something that we want to control. We want to lower our brightness level to conserve battery power, DJI. You basically given us dimming in the camera to allow it to dim down to conserve battery power, but now it makes no sense when you're in Hlog, you're consuming battery power with brightness, and nobody knows about that. I'm going to have to make a public announcement to DJI and let people know if they want it lowered. Well, here you are in HDR. It's not warm out here, it's cold. The sun is going to be rising over there. And I'm in my last color of Hlog DM, they call it. And I shot video in Vlog, which this is, and I shot in Bicycle, those are my customs, video, and super night. I didn't shoot in subject tracking today. Here we are, subject tracking. And yeah, it'll follow me, do a nice job, and I got a car coming in. Subject tracking does a nice job, and the only thing I really didn't shoot was slow motion and time lapse. So I'm out here getting the shots I need. And this will complete version V01020330. Did a nice job showing some video, scenes, talk, and whatnot. Sun's gonna come up, gives you an idea what this camera can do. Now, I tell you, if I had a choice of two cameras for the holidays, for Santa, I would say get your kids or get yourself a DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro, and you'd be very happy. It does everything that, you got it, the Pocket 3 does, but it's not their 1-inch sensor. DJI's got a 1.1/3 sensor, and that is good enough for this camera in the best low light shots you can get out of it. That's what you want a camera for. It's an action camera. 2 DJI mics you can hook up, left and right channel. You have a lens boost. It's almost like a GoPro today. And maybe, and that's what I wanted to say, maybe the next firmware or the next camera, they're gonna offer shortcuts on the screen to turn the lens boost on, to turn the timer shooting on, and all that good stuff. And on that note, I'm gonna watch the sunset. Oh, stop moving, fish. They're getting you dizzy. Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. That's my shoulder. Ah, happy trails to you till we meet again. Happy trails to you. I used to say that on my videos. Happy trails, people.